welcome to the Southwestern PA Business Podcast. I'm Mandy Pryor with Southwest Regional Chamber, and today we have Brent Rondon of Pitt's SBDC, the Small Business Development Corporation, and we're going to talk a little bit about what they do and how they can help our chamber members out there who are watching and with their businesses. So Brent, thank you.
Thank you, Mandy, for the invite. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. We have known each other for quite a long time. We've done a lot together, especially in the past couple of years. Really kicked it up a notch.
Right.
So I wanted to bring you on, as I know my members out there probably don't know a lot about your program, what you're doing, and where you can really help all of the businesses in our area. So Brent, why don't you tell me a little bit about your role and what you guys do?
Sure. I work at the Pennsylvania Small Business Development Center, which is a statewide network of business centers. And one of the business centers is located at the University of Pittsburgh. So the system pretty much provides business consulting and business training at all levels of the stage of companies. Could be startups, could be growth companies. And then we're just business consultants. We are professional business consultants, full-time workers, and we cover 7 counties in this region. So our job on a day-to-day basis is pretty much, I call it business helpers. Mm-hmm. So we try to hear what the business has, any issues, problems, maybe opportunities, and we try to give feedback. And then we can lay out more a plan to go more on the engagement process, but pretty much it's a business consulting group and a training group.
And so you're helping all the businesses with whatever problems or issues that are coming up, if they have stuff that maybe is growing their business too fast. What are some of the issues that people come to you guys for?
Yeah, so what happens is that, people start with an idea, right? So the idea is one thing. The other thing is if the idea is needed in the market. Maybe you have an awesome idea, but really, does the market need your idea? We don't know. So that's where the intersection comes, the idea and the market. So they will come to us with an idea, just an idea. You request to meet with a consultant, and then we will engage with you and start talking about your background, history, money. You have to have some money, the idea, of course. And then once you get into the SBDC system, I am really amazed about this system, okay? Because it's an amazing system, has so many resources. Yeah. Talking about resources. So once you come into the SBDC system, you will become a client, which is no charge. And then you will be exposed to all the resources. So one is you will have access to your own private consultant, which is really nice.
I mean, I have so many members, and I try to meet with them and try to guide them in their business. But there's only so much time for one person to get out there with all the members to help their businesses along. So that's a great opportunity that they have somebody who's trained and skilled that I can say, okay, I've gotten you this far, but with the resources that you guys have, it's amazing what you can do next.
Yeah, and we have access to our business entrepreneurship librarian at Pitt. So she's a big component on the development of the idea, because we will give you access to that business librarian, and then she has access to private databases that she can go and pull some key information. We will give you maybe a list of questions that you can use when you meet with a librarian, just to maximize your time. She will give you 1 hour at a time. You can meet as many times as you want. But then you come back to us with that information, because we're going to have a structure. Okay, the idea needs a structure.
Yeah, because a lot of people have the idea and they don't know how to structure what they're doing next and what's most important and what you should do first.
What's step 1, step 2, step 3, So we're going to do that.
And people get excited, and so they usually put the cart before the horse.
Yeah.
Because they're like, this is the best idea I've ever had.
Right. So I think that's the beauty of the program. So we are with you. So we're assigned to you. So I become your consultant. We're 10 consultants in the center. And then we go along the way. So in a way, is how much you want to put into your idea to develop it, because we are here to always meet maybe once a month to see how things are going. And we will give you some homework to do. And then we have different programs, okay? So we have a contracts program. So we will have events where we will, let's say, contract with the University of Pittsburgh, or we will contract with UPMC, or the City of Pittsburgh, or Allegheny County Department.
And that's big. I mean,
those are free events that you come and you pitch your business.
And that's amazing.
Hopefully.
And you get one, and that would be incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, not everybody does.
Yeah, and it's not easy to be a vendor of these groups. These are big groups.
Yeah.
So it's a process, structure, for you to be a vendor. And that's what we are going to expose you to. We have a digital marketing. So the SBDC over time developed centers of excellence. So we have a centers of excellence in digital marketing, contracts, QuickBooks, business plan financing, prototype center, agriculture center, food restaurant center. In fact, I am taking 6 companies from the Pittsburgh region into the Fancy Food Show in New York.
Yeah, we should definitely touch on that.
The Fancy Food Show, that happens every year. So there's a grant that pays the booth space for these food manufacturers. So we're always looking for this type of companies for that type of opportunity. So there are so many resources. Again, the word resources is key, that you find out what the resources are and use them. There's a lot. I do the international business as well, yes. And we have another program. It's a grant program to travel overseas. I mean, there's so many resources.
So many resources. And I want to touch base on one success story of the Chamber and working with Pitt SBDC and the Fancy Food Show is we have Nina from My Favorite Sweet Shop. And Brent had said, do you know anybody who does food, like small amounts, or a small business? Yeah. And I immediately thought of Nina, and I approached her and said, hey, there's this really, really good opportunity for you to, meet with Brent and see if this Fancy Food Show might be something that you want to move forward with, and you could potentially get into some different avenues you've never thought of. She has two brick and mortar locations right now, one in Collier and one in Carnegie. So last year she went to the Fancy Food Show, and I'll let you talk more about the experience of it all. But this year she got into, I think, Giant Eagle and Whole Foods.
Right.
And so she's not just, and I know that there's been some much bigger contracts that she's been working on. So just taking this small shop owner, she's like the cutest thing ever if you've ever met her, but she's a small business owner, like little kids, younger person, and she got to go to New York. And then now she's just has booths at the Giant Eagle selling her product on shelves. So that's a success story. I mean, that's a small town, family run business who got to do so much more, and hopefully her success continues. But why don't you talk about your experience with Nina, just because she's a member?
Yeah, these are opportunities for small businesses. We are not looking for big-sized companies. We're looking for small businesses in the food manufacturing area. So Nina's business is perfect. Small business, sure. Manufacturing business, candy, chocolate. So she accepted the challenge, because really you had to prepare a little bit to go to New York. Even though the grant will pay for the booth, you still have to, take care of transportation, food, hotel. That's on you. Plus family members maybe to helping you out in the show. And also to develop your pitch, your message. Remember, this is a 30,000 people show. It's a B2B show, so no consumers coming to the show. It's just food distributors.
Sure.
And we had the food distributors, even though they are huge and big, they're not looking for massive types of production volume. They're looking for boutique type products. And so what Nina offers is perfect.
It's perfect.
And then, for example, Giant Eagle show up at the show, and they have people in Pittsburgh, but they also have people in Chicago. And those guys also show up. And they were amazed to see the product. They say, how come you're not in Giant Eagle? So let's work on it. And you have the big guys, Amazon, Kroger's, TJ Maxx, amazing show. Also, in addition to we were under the Pennsylvania Pavilion show, So you have states, their own companies. You also have international pavilions. So you have the French pavilion, the Italian pavilion, German, Turkey, China. So it's an amazing show for you to be exposed. And then we can booth the show for a while, and you can go and walk the show and maybe meet people, you know?
That's very considerate, as I've worked trade shows before, to have the opportunity to walk around.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I mean, it's amazing. So I think that Nina took advantage of the show. She was really, really good at communication skills. She is. Smiling, engaging, even sometimes calling people to come to stop in the booth, giving a small token. Or she was ready also with a product to have a QR code and information about the company. So she did her homework, and she was ready to pitch and present. So we're happy that the market reacted to what she offered, and now she's now getting more contracts. So she's coming again to the Fancy Food Show.
I'm excited to see where she ends up.
Yeah. Now maybe she will get an international business.
So.
Yeah.
Our success story from the South Hills, right?
South Hills, perfect. Yeah. We want to replicate that, Mandy.
Yes, we do. So if any members out there have small products, I'm going to keep my thinking cap on, but also I'll be sending them over to Brent. So if you hear from him.
Yeah. Well, the other opportunity coming up is in September. In September, we have 13 country visitors coming to Pittsburgh. So these are state of Pennsylvania international business officers stationed in 13 countries coming to Pittsburgh to meet with companies, with companies one-to-one. So the appointments are free of charge. You just need is to prepare your pitch. You will have 20 minutes.
What are they looking for?
They're looking to introduce your product into their market.
So does that have to be food, or it can be anything?
Could be anything. Anything.
And they're looking for the small business owners?
Yes, we focus on small business owners, so it could be a product or a service, okay? So you're a marketing, a lawyer, architect, designer, software. We're looking for those type of companies too, because you can expand your market services. Not only here, you can do business in any of those 13 countries where they have an office. And that service they provide is paid by your tax money, because Pennsylvania pays these officers to do that job for you. So
that's
so
nice
you
of them.
Meet with these guys, you pitch, and they will engage with you more. And then if there's a market opportunity, all that market research they do in that country is no charge. They will introduce you to partners or distributors or brokers or resellers, no charge. If you decide to go into that market to visit, either to visit and meet with some potential customers, there's a grant money that covers that. Or if you want to attend an international trade show in that country, the grant money will cover that. You can go visit a country, you can walk the show, or like the Fancy Food Show, you can have a booth and you exhibit in this international show in Germany or France or wherever.
Yeah.
So they're coming, September 12th. September 12th.
I wish I had a product so I could go.
Yeah, but you have a service. You can remember, it's not only product; it's also service.
It's also services.
Yeah. So that could be an opportunity.
And you do. I think you told me, and this might be years ago, so I don't know if things have changed. But you said that, like, in these 13 countries that you have offices set up. So if you do decide to go to the country to try, and you're part of your organization, then you can use those offices while you're in the country to.
Yeah. These guys are there to represent and help Pennsylvania-based companies in that market. So there are 13 offices. So they come once a year to Pennsylvania. So they have a tour. So they will start, I don't know where, Philadelphia maybe, come all the way here, and they go back and finish. So they have 1 day per city. So Pittsburgh is September 12th. The meetings will be at Carnegie Mellon University. The appointments are free of charge. So they're looking for local-based companies to apply and schedule your appointment. You have only 20 minutes, but just bring your stuff, introduce yourself. Don't expect they will take your stuff with them because they are...
How much stuff would they
Yeah,
have
they
at
can,
the end of the day?
it's just digital, right? So website, and they have a mini form, they can fill out information, and then they can follow up with you afterwards. And then we're here to prepare you. So we are the prep guys, so we will prepare you on what the new language of international business is all about. So you're ready to talk that language when you meet with these guys.
Oh, and like how to present for
Yeah,
that
because there are some
specific
technical
country
terms that we
and-
use in international business, which we don't use in the domestic day-to-day business here. So the code classification of your product is a different number that we use in the States, for example. Or how do you quote? The quote process has different acronyms. Depends on
So
which
it's a
point.
learning curve
It's
for
a learning,
small
a little
business.
learning curve.
So you
It's
have
not
to
a big
really
deal, okay?
want to like.
But we want you to learn this a little bit new terms. So when you talk to these guys and they ask you these questions, you're not like, what? Yeah. So we want you to be a little bit ready. But it's not a big deal, okay? So we can train you.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, very nice.
I wish I had a product, right? Or I guess I have services.
Yeah.
I have services. I talked about a product on another show, and I'm still wrapping my head back. But if I ever make it,
And there's lots of training opportunities for this. So, like I work with pretty much with 3 groups in town. That we all do the same, and we partner a lot. So one, of course, is University of Pittsburgh Small Business Development Center. So we do global training, but we also have the Southwestern Pennsylvania Commission, SPC. They also work with us on the global training. And the other group is the United States Department of Commerce, the International Trade Administration, U.S. Commercial Service, a long name, okay? But those two groups are the powerful groups in terms of the managing the business and the offices overseas. So SPC is Pennsylvania state. So they are the ones who are with the 13 country officers. And the United States Department of Commerce are with the U.S. embassies worldwide, which is 80 countries. So here in Pittsburgh, you have access to either 13 countries via the state or 80 countries via the U.S. embassies. And we're local, we're here. So we can meet with
really
you
expand what
anytime.
you're doing. I mean,
Yeah.
if you get one of these contracts.
Right, that's what we want, right? We want you to have reps, distributor networks, brokers, resellers overseas. And we want your sales to go up, employment to go up, competitiveness to go up. Because sometimes international markets will ask you for tweaks. Can you tweak your package? Can you tweak?
Well, and if I've been to Ireland, and if you go to a random store in Ireland, you see all the candy. Like just for example, they all look completely different than here. Yeah. Even if it's the same product, it's like, oh, what's that?
Yeah.
Oh, that's just,
so you need a little.
Because it looks, but they all look like they're all from the same country there, and ours all look the same kind of branding here. So.
Right. But that gives you an edge against your competitors also home here, because now you learn a new way to package, or a new maybe translating into some different languages, or you meet new regulations. I mean, it makes you overall a better company overall.
Well, and especially when you're working with the small business owners, they know what they're good at. They know how to make their product or work on their service. They don't necessarily know any of the things that you have knowledge about. So that's really great that you guys come in and train them, so they don't walk in there having no idea what they're supposed to do and being brushed away because they're like, this person, I don't know why they're here.
Yeah. And another big deal for international business nowadays is know your customer policy. So in the US, we just do business, right? No, somebody contact you, you engage, make the sale, perfect. Internationally speaking, you need a little vet or qualification of who is that company asking you. Why do they want this product? So you need to do a little questioning, and we have the questions ready, so we can share those with you. But you need to do that step in between the seller and the buyer, because the U.S. export regulations come into place, and that applies to all U.S. companies who want to do international business. So we don't want you to start doing business with a company that they will resell your stuff to a country that is not friendly to the U.S., for example.
Sure.
We have, Cuba, North Korea, Sudan. So we have some countries. So it's just that, okay, let's frame the business, but we are helping you with that. So that's another maybe added step that you have to do just to qualify your customer. And nowadays with the import side, we say qualify your supplier. So there are two things. For exports, qualify your customer. For imports, qualify your supplier.
Well, and I think that's hard, especially for a small business owner, to know
their
that's
suppliers. That's why you have all this network in place.
You could, really hurt your business if you pick the wrong supplier.
Yeah, like I was talking last night to a local company, and he said to me, it's tough sometimes to do imports because let's say you a supplier, and the supplier meets your quality requirements. Awesome. So you start making business. Let's say 5 shipments meet the quality. Mm-hmm. The 6th shipment, for some reason, they don't.
The stitching's wrong.
What happened?
Something
so
happened.
They call us, no, forget it. We're dismiss that order, we're going to send a new order. Yeah, but it's a time, right? That time.
So then you're slower on business.
Yeah, okay.
Slows down your revenue.
Again, the next 5 is okay. Then the following is a gain. So sometimes he say it's not. Maybe they don't have their totally quality management in place all the time, and sometimes that hiccups in the system. But could happen anywhere. But so you have to be on top. Okay, always have somebody maybe checking either exports or imports.
Make sure you're importing enough that if there is a mistake that you have it on stock.
Yeah, like you order,
so you don't have to worry about
round lamps and you get square lamps. I need a round. I said round, but they say square. Why? Go figure. That's something.
And it happens. It happens in the United States if you're moving.
Yeah, it's
anything.
part of business,
Yeah.
But I just want you to be aware of that.
I just opened up a box of folders yesterday that I designed, and I was like, "Whoa, that's a different company." They were great, but you never know, when you're.
Yeah, it's a hassle, but that happens. And then the other thing is how to get paid. Money.
What?
Yeah, we want money.
We want to get paid.
So we want to get paid. So you have to know how to frame that relationship. You know, hey, first is when to get paid, and the second is how to get paid. Because we're talking about international markets.
And with the money exchange, it's different. So you have to kind of know that. What you think might be a good deal might not be a good deal if you're not educated in the currency.
So over time, you will say, okay, you pay me first. Once I get the money, I will ship. Okay, but over time, you want to be more customer friendly and start opening credit terms. Hey, you can pay me in 15 days. You can pay me 30 days.
Yeah.
So you ship, no payment, and then they will pay you. But we have tools. We have tools that will protect the U.S. company when they open the door for credit. So you can offer 30, 60, 90-day credit.
And there's kind of an insurance.
There's insurance, right? The export credit insurance that will protect. So not too many companies use it internationally. I don't know why, because other countries have the same policy, and they use it like crazy to provide credit. U.S. companies as always
are hesitant.
Pay me first, then I ship. But then if you are more customer friendly, you have to think about their finances, okay? So it's cash flow, right? Mm-hmm. So you're asking them to give you the money. Now they don't have cash flow, and then you ship. But the competitor is offering terms.
And so they're going to go with them.
They will go with them. And you can do the same.
Then you can sell
because we have the same policy. We are covered.
Well, then they can sell some of the product and then have enough to pay the.
Yeah, right. So
or at least a little backup.
The more savvy companies or the growth companies use the export credit insurance, but really as a percentage is very, very low. It's like 10% of the whole entire universe of exporting companies. 10% use the export credit insurance. But the European companies, they use 60%. The Chinese companies using 90%. So they make usage of the tool and they gain customers like crazy.
Well, and I think, a lot of it's just hesitance to
it's learning.
Use
I think.
credit with another country. I think you don't really know.
Yeah, it's a learning curve. Talking about learning
we're just
curve.
going to make sure this is right.
Yeah, But you're protected. Remember, you're protected, so you can. But that is a process. Okay, at the beginning, you play safe. You get to know your customer. Maybe you invite them over to see your operation. You give some training to these guys. Then you can go to an international trade show and do a joint exhibit in the show. So that rep of yours and you so now you are getting more into the game. And over time, then you say, okay, you know what, we're going to give you terms.
So you get to know them more,
we have our protected.
So
that's our job. Our job basically is that we want more U.S. companies or Pittsburgh companies to be more global companies, global engagement, growth, because the competitors overseas are doing the same to us. They come to this market, they offer credit, and then they buy our companies and they grow here, right? Which is business, right? Business is business. Yeah. So we want our companies to be players globally, and we have so many opportunities. Like I told you about the U.S. Commercial Service, the Commerce Department. There are international shows in the United States, so you don't have to travel to an international show. We have them here. Okay, New York, a fancy food show, for example, that's an international show, or Las Vegas, Atlanta, Chicago. So those foreign companies come to the shows here in the U.S. You can just go to the show, meet with these guys here, so you don't have sometimes to travel all the way to a country. And then our U.S. Commercial Service brings foreign buyers. We call it a foreign buyers missions. So let's say the show is about food. They will bring foreign buyers into the show. And you are in the show, you can sign up to have a meeting with the foreign buyers. In New York, you don't have to go overseas to find foreign buyers.
They're here.
They're here.
They came to you.
And they came to you. There's so many really opportunities, resources.
Good. And amazing. I will make sure that I share out the upcoming one in the fall. You said September
12th.
September 12th. I'll make sure I share that out, as well as, when's the Fancy Food Show? That's right around the corner, isn't
that's
it?
June 29th.
June 29th. Is there still opportunity for anybody to go and attend?
Yeah. If you're a business, you can come and attend. Walk the show. Because we are
I'll try to definitely think.
Yeah, for example, the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, Gretchen McKay, she's a food editor of the Post-Gazette. Last year, she flew to New York and she interviewed all of the Pittsburgh companies and got a big article about that. She's coming again this year.
Wow.
So it's going to be awesome.
I want to go just to walk around.
You should. Just come and walk the show, meet companies. You will find Pittsburgh companies, you will find Pennsylvania companies, but you will find Texas companies, Georgia companies, whatever company. Then you find the French, the Italians, the Turks, the Swiss. I think it's an eye-opener. So you're a business, try to come to that Fancy Food Show. It's a B2B show.
Good, I like it. And I'll share that. Do you have like an informational flyer for it?
Yeah, I can send you that.
If you share me that, the event in the fall, and anything else, just about the SBDC in general.
Yeah.
I think businesses need consulting, and there's a lot of businesses who, especially startups, and I can think of 3 of my members who I'm like, okay, and do and every business is so different that I can only get them so far in my allotted time with them. So definitely sending them your way to find out more, get resources. That's huge. There's so many resources that even I am not aware of. Maybe I'll have to do a tour down with you guys at Pitt so we can talk further.
For example, upcoming events for us. So tomorrow, June 5th, we have Doing Business with UPMC. That's a free event at Pitt. So then June 10th we have a makers show, all makers. June 10th at Pitt too. And then June 18th, we have the doing business with Allegheny County at the convention center. So that's expect many companies. You know, Allegheny County.
I want to go to that one.
Is the wealthiest county in this region.
Yes.
Has so many agencies, programs. So all of those guys will be there trying to meet companies so they can give contracts out.
Very nice.
Yeah,
we're doing something with the women-owned business certifications right now.
Oh,
so hopefully
that's big.
It is huge.
Business certification is a big. I'm very cumbersome. I'm very messy. So
I hear it's
great that you're doing.
It's hard to get through it.
Yeah.
But if you do, the opportunities, I mean, even when the NFL draft was in town, they were asking for these women-owned business certifications. So we have a big gathering coming up with Chatham and another, and I think it's SB Thomas, and one of our members has gone through it, so we have them talking. But, you know, even for that, Allegheny County, once they're, like, even if it's not this year, they have that certification. Those are a lot of the vendors that are looking for that certification too.
Right.
But our male counterparts also can go to this.
Yeah, sure, of course.
Meet people and see if they can get contracts. And that can be anything. I mean, it can be even food trucks at Pitt University. I know you guys look for that, or some of the bigger companies in Allegheny. And
so we have we have a big office for catering. So Pitt has a huge unit for catering contracts. Has a huge office for food service, food contracts. Have a huge office for stores, or the university stores, looking for products to sell in the stores. And then we have services. Could be roofing, contracting, cleaning, food service. I mean, it's a lot of services that they are looking for. These are big groups, okay? They're looking for small businesses. It's tough for them to get in touch with the small businesses. They usually get in touch with the big contractors, which is okay, but sometimes a percentage of that big contracts, they want to give it to small businesses. But how do they find small businesses? It's not easy.
They don't have time to go out and find the small business owners.
Yeah.
But I mean, as you're talking now, I'm thinking of a list of people. I'm like, oh, I better introduce him to him, and I better introduce him to them. And so even I don't have this, list of information on the contracts that you're looking for. So we'll have another sit down afterwards.
Yeah, we can brainstorm.
I'm going to come down to Pitt or wherever, and we'll go through things. So then I can start. Maybe we'll do some follow up here.
Right.
With just talking about it in general terms of contracts and our small business.
And the other big thing is labor. Labor, workers.
Huge.
That's a.
I know
what's going to happen there. Yeah, it's a lot of companies.
It is.
Asking people labor.
And trying to just fill spots and.
Oh, I just met 2 days ago with the guys who are running Pittsburgh tomorrow. And they were talking about how we're declining population, declining economic growth. I said, gee, statistics. So we need to react, be more proactive, doing business events, networking is a big deal.
Networking is big.
Big deal. The new students graduating from different colleges and universities, that's a group.
We need to keep them here.
Into the marketplace, right.
The only good thing is if you're from Pennsylvania, typically you come back.
Yes.
It's like 10 years later.
Yes, I saw those
you
boomerangs.
leave, and you're like, okay, this is
yes,
home.
they come back. Yeah.
But you also, and one thing that I know you have on your site is you also have a ton of webinars, like how to create a business plan and like those simple webinars on like how to do stuff for your business. So those are great informationals that they can learn more about just by accessing.
Every 15 days, I would say, the first step and the second step, repeat every 15 days, is a hybrid. So the speakers are sponsors. I really my hats off, okay? Because every 15 days, they show up, a lawyer, an accountant, a banker, and a SBDC consultant. There, to give information. It's hybrid, so you can virtually connect or you can come in person. But it's every 15 days.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of commitment, commitment, time commitment. But they want that to happen, and so we invite always companies to stop by or to connect. So those are first step, second step. But then we have other topic type webinars or seminars. People can, since we're an SBDC system, no charge. That's the rule. So it's a resource for the community.
Well, and I think it's so important for people to continue learning, especially if you're a business owner.
Yeah,
there's so many different things. There's regulations that you need to know. And some people just go full throttle with their idea and don't educate themselves on how to run a business. They just run a business.
Right.
And they're exhausted, they're running it into the ground. Or they're looking for employees, or there's different ways to do different things.
Systems, right? See how to manage,
systems
how to
and
control
processes.
money coming in, money going out.
Yeah.
How to get paid, that's another thing. They bill, and a customer says, I will pay you in 15 days, I will pay you in 30 days. You say yes, but then you have so many things in the meantime.
And those get backed up. And somebody else starts doing those, get backed up.
You forget, and you're losing money.
Well,
you're not getting the money.
I mean, this year alone, I was an English literature major in broadcasting, so I didn't have a huge background in QuickBooks. I've been self-taught. I'm going on 8 years here at the Chamber.
Yeah, okay.
I still don't know a lot.
Right.
QuickBooks is a feat that you need to learn. But there's so many things that I learned this year that I'm like, I never knew it did that. That streamlined hours of work going forward. So I'm like, it's very tiny, but it's just knowing that one thing that you can achieve in there.
And that's education.
But that can be anything. That doesn't have to be QuickBooks. There's just little things you can do, especially with AI and technology now, that you can streamline your business and make processes go faster, and you can take it off your plate. I think everybody has a full plate, especially being understaffed.
Right.
So what can you use outside of, say, a staff person to help move your business faster so you don't have to, and it's not foolproof technology. Please know that you have to monitor that. But take it off your plate and, spend time on things that you need to spend time on as opposed to the little things.
Like, for example, I also discovered the University of Pittsburgh has the CECs, the Community Engagement Centers. So they have been opening these CECs in different areas of the city. So I went to one, I had an event there. So they didn't charge me to have the event. I asked, what about other groups? They said, no, we don't charge. So if you want to come and hold a seminar here, you can use that, no charge. I said, wow. Then they said, and we have a law firm comes once a week, or different entities that provide services, no charges. And they have a library, they have a computer room for computers, no charge. I said, my God, resources, okay. I said, wow. So all these CECs, they call it CECs. I don't think people know much about the CECs, but that's another resource for just businesses to, internet, research, have a meeting or a seminar with your vendors or something.
Yeah. Wow.
These are resources.
Send me that.
I
want to find out more.
These big universities,
They have, they have so many tools and resources.
Yeah, because it's a big.
As I said, I went to IUP. I probably haven't reached out or looked into what they've done in the past. I went there. I saw the
IUP now
campus.
is in the news with the new School of Medicine. They want to, things are moving and brewing there,
Well, that's good.
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. Back whenever I went there, big was criminology and teaching. Those were the two big draws for IUP back then. So.
I think each entity or organization has their own, resources. I think students is for me, is a key to unlock so much power. In my line of business, which is international business, international students, for example, at a grad level, these guys work for government, work for corporations in those countries. They come here to study, but they have sometimes free time, And sometimes I tap their, hey, can you tell me more about your industry, contacts, government? And they're happy to share that information. So I've been doing sometimes, the Pittsburgh business wants to go into, let's say, Indonesia, and I will have this grad student from Indonesia talk about the country, the history, the culture, the map, industries, government. It's just you will meet a person from that country here in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh has everything.
Well, and it's nice you're centrally located, so you have all the resources of Allegheny and Pittsburgh and City of Pittsburgh and everything surrounding. But we're hosting right now. My intern Hannah is from Pitt University.
Oh, there you go.
International Studies, Security and Defense, and Public and International Policy.
Oh, is she undergrad or grad student?
She's grad.
So she went to GISPIA.
Yes.
I went to GISPIA too.
Yes, that's how we work through
so that
local government
specific program,
academy.
that's the one I'm talking about. The
Yeah.
grad students, international, go to GISPIA. Powerful group. So you are taking advantage
we're totally
of the resources.
underutilizing her.
Yeah. I mean, that's a key.
She's a sophomore, so I think she has some.
Yeah,
her second year.
Yeah, that's okay.
It's little time.
But it's a great experience for her, and you guys. It's a win-win.
Oh, absolutely.
How to replicate that with your type of organization and your your members?
Yeah.
They all should be in line waiting to apply for the students,
Well, you learn a lot, especially because we're such a chamber's a small business, and I wear a different hat every other minute of the day. Yes. So it's she's being pushed and pulled and turned, and whether or not what she's exactly learning is on her trajectory for her career, she's learning about small business. I'm sure even if you go international, like they're wearing a lot of hats, and there's many different things, and things are always changing and moving, and there's a fluidity to what we're doing. We don't have the 20 people to say, okay, you're in charge of this program and you're in charge of this program. And there's none of that. It's called everybody, there you go.
Well, that's small business.
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And it's human interaction. You are, I guess, teaching her how to interact with different personalities, people.
So she has and she's going to be upset with me. So I was telling you before the show, I hurt my hip at the playground with my kids.
Okay.
So one of our big things we're doing right now is we're going out into our municipalities, and we're doing business open houses in each municipality, and then we'll do like a big general one to bring everybody together. But right now we're focusing on like the specific municipalities. So our next one was Scott Township, and I said, these are businesses we don't know. They don't know us, and they aren't members of the chamber necessarily. Some are, but some aren't. And I said, it's grassroots. We got to go door to door and say hi and give them a flyer. So I'm sending her out today to go meet some different personalities, different types of businesses, different ways of just walking in and being confident about meeting new people. But it is like a proven way. We've done this 3 times, and I've walked around all these areas. They need to meet you, and they need to see you, and they need to, you can send them an email. If they don't know you, if they don't feel any connection, they're going to be like, well, I don't know what this is. So, she has to go around for me today because of my hip, but
awesome.
It'll be good.
That's a great experience for her.
It's going to be good, and she'll see how that type of business works, because then we have our general networking events, and those we bring people in other ways.
Right.
So, we're trying to, it's grassroots. It's the way business was done years ago. And there's a reason that business was done like that years ago.
I remember
I'm a huge proponent of face-to-face interaction, whether it's my members or whether it's anybody in the community, because you could just get to know somebody that way.
Well, that's one of the key ingredients for international business.
Yes.
Yeah, we always train people when you go overseas, try to spend time with a person, ask questions, because they are going to ask you questions that sometimes seem intrusive questions, but it's not that they want to be noisy, and it's just that the culture, they want to develop a relationship, and they want to know a little bit behind the curtain. So family members, your history growing up, sports, whether you like to cook, so they will go more deeper, and you feel like it's getting too much. It's just part of the conversation.
Well, and that's exactly what we have an ambassador program we're starting, and they had asked me to come in and talk to them a little bit about how I approach people. And that's exactly what I said. Go find out about them. It's not a sales call. Like, quit thinking of the sale.
Exactly.
Or whatever you want to do. We're not selling. We're helping our members. We're helping the area economically. We are not selling, a membership. Like, you're meeting them. You're like, we're here to help. We're here to support you. We're here to help. And we're here to have you meet people and do more business in the area. Right. And make you more money.
Yes.
Money.
Right.
We want to make you money. We want the area to thrive. We want more people to move in here. We want community growth, and we want you to partner. So, but I always say, I'm like, if they have a dog and you have a dog, that's a match made in heaven right there. Go on about it. Like, people love their kids. They love their dogs. They love their sports, whatever it is. And, like, find common ground.
Yeah, well, that's a message for international business. So you're a prime candidate.
I'm ready.
To be
I'm going international, Southwest Regional.
Yeah,
Chamber
because we
Commerce.
always tell them, when you go to these meetings, do not start business talk.
No.
Start, who are you, what you do, the casual conversation, like exactly what you just said. Exactly.
Well, and that's, that goes for LinkedIn too. I mean, it drives me up a wall. You connect with somebody. I like to linger around their page I connect with somebody. I'm like, all right, what do they do? Like, I like to pay attention to what they're doing. It drives me nuts when I get a message back. Hi, and I'm offering this whatever, and I'm like, that was a lot. Like that, I'm gonna go hide from you now. Like, that's an immediate. Like, I'm gonna hide. I don't know you. We haven't had a coffee. We haven't Zoomed. Like, I haven't even seen a post of yours yet. Too much.
I mean, how long?
Don't do that.
I did that with you. We met. Coffee here, coffee there, get to know who are you, where, and then start more business.
Now, if you ask me to check your pets while you're away on vacation, I'd be like, all right, I know them pretty well.
Yeah, it's like, So, but that's one of the keys for our companies to be successful internationally, is that space that you provide at the beginning of the interaction, not business. Talk about the space, personal, pets, sports, whatever. Yeah. So,
and they're interested in your country too.
They are very.
We don't know anything about your country. You don't know anything about ours. Let's talk.
Yes,
like what?
Let's get.
What's something that? There's nothing you love more than finding out how different like a breakfast could be. Yeah. I went to Riviera Maya, and all the breakfasts were like fresh meats, cheeses, and fruits. And I was like, here we're like cereal, breads, toast, eggs, bacon. And I'm like, there's a difference. And I loved it down there. I was like, I wish I had this every day.
Right.
But they don't know that you're doing, I mean, that's just an interesting. It's like looking, like getting a sneak preview. It's like reality.
You open your eyes.
Yeah.
Ways to do business. So many years ago, I met a guy from Latin America, and he was asking me about, he was here, and he noticed that, companies who make the plastic hangers for your clothing,
Sure.
So he looked at the quality of the plastic. I said, well, what about? So he went to the factory and he saw the extra waste that is not used in making that waste was gold for him.
Melt it, make it into something new.
Because the quality of this plastic is better and thicker than the ones they get in his country. The hangers are so thin that they break soon.
That'd be awful.
And here we have all these quality
hangers.
That we don't pay attention to that, okay?
Like, you don't pay attention to that. They're standard.
And this guy wants
standard.
That plus the waste. My gosh. It's amazing. And when I went to international shows with US companies, exhibit in the shows, let's say a mining show, equipment, mining, the Germans are there, the French, the Australians, South Africans, Japanese, Chinese, Then we get sometimes those guys on those booths come to our booth. So, hey, and they start asking about our equipment. Okay, I said, but you have your equipment too that you sell to the mining, and we're selling the same equipment. No, they say, but yours is made in USA. And it's higher quality. Really? Yeah, so in our minds, we buy your equipment. And they are selling their Australian equipment to the market.
Oh.
But guys come to our booth asking for our equipment because they said made in USA
better.
and quality. But we don't know that.
No.
We don't know that. We just go to the show, you know. So I think it's a perception that once you go outside the US, you will find a different reality in business side. They
And that's
want
not
to
to
do
say
business
some
with
of their
you.
products aren't more superior to ours.
Yeah. No, they have also, you know, each country has their own, you know, specialty. But we notice that. So our pitch is expand your markets, find new customers. We have the neighboring countries, you know, Canada, Mexico, and we have free trade agreement, which now this free trade agreement is getting hit by the tariffs that we're having. But business is business, okay? I grew up in Latin America, in Peru, and when I was there in college, we had an issue with socialist terrorist movement, killings, and you know. But guess what? Schools continue, businesses continue, life continues.
Yeah.
So you have to adapt. You adjust, adapt, continue. So whatever we have right now.
Well, and there's so many different movements in it right now that it's kind of hard to even foresee what's going to happen.
Yeah, you need to be open eyes, conversation, communication, adjust, adapt, because business keeps going.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's like the Chamber of Commerce. You have to look at, you know, the members who it's not going to affect at all versus the members who's affecting heavily in whichever capacity.
Yeah, the two.
So you kind of have to like maneuver around.
I just met a Canadian consul, came to Pittsburgh, and we were in the meeting, and one of the Pittsburgh robotics company shared his story about how the Canadian distributors, some Canadian distributors said, hey, you know what, I guess for now, let's have a break. We don't want to deal with, you know, with you guys, you know, these issues. Okay, well, you know, too bad. Well, the other Canadian distributor said, you know what, I think this is a time to go fully ahead and engage more. Then we will have an edge against our competitors. Completely different point of view, same country, different distributors,
Interesting.
same US company selling. So you say some go on one direction, one go in a different direction. Business keeps going, okay? So the other guy said, fully ahead, come expand the line. We're going to invest more presence in more shows. The other guy said, take a break, stop, nothing for now.
That's hard to do, right? It's
Right.
and
Like,
who knows which is going to work out in the end. I
at
mean,
the end, you don't know.
they'll have.
You adjust, adapt, move. Yeah, you have to, because business keeps going. You know, humans need
It just
consumption.
keeps
You know, we need to eat, we need to drive, we need to do the big exploration, oil exploration, agriculture. I mean,
It's going to continue one way or another.
life doesn't stop, so we have to keep going. Yeah, that's a message, you know.
Thank you. I will share out everything we talked of. I'll have you send me over a little member package for on social media, and yeah, hopefully we can help some businesses out there, and they'll be more interested now that they have more knowledge about what you do. And
Thank you.
And I might come down, sit with you, and go through all the things, so I'm equipped to tell them what you guys do even more.
Right, you know a lot of people, so you're a very good catalyst for businesses.
Always going.
Yeah, always going. With the networking piece, I think that sometimes marketing for Pittsburgh as a whole, we have we have great stuff in Pittsburgh, unique stuff in Pittsburgh, but I don't feel sometimes the message is out there. Like why people don't know XYZ company exists, why people don't know this organization exists, why people don't, where they want to keep it kind of like in their own, why? Just open it up. So we need that networking, marketing stuff that you're doing. Big component, a big piece in this big picture of how Pittsburgh can be more engaging place for companies and people.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we're doing all this municipal work. I mean, it's a little more on the tedious side of our regular events, but you know, at the end, it's reaching so many more businesses and people that some don't even know what a chamber is. And secondly, they don't know what a chamber can do or the resources beyond the chamber, like what you do, that we can send them to. Yeah. So it's kind of like, we're not just here to have you guys meet and have a coffee. Like, we're here to continue the growth of our region. We're almost 100 years old. So, you know, if it's a 100-year-old business, that means we've done something right along the way. And hopefully we can continue that.
Many years ago, a group in Pittsburgh, which is no longer alive, produced a publication, a booklet called the Bragg Book, Pittsburgh Bragg Book. I don't know you.
I don't think I heard.
I think I have a copy. I have to look for
Okay.
that. So they compile all the firsts or the number one thing Pittsburgh, either historically or today, which people don't realize. We have so many firsts.
So many firsts.
So many firsts. Unique.
First radio, right?
Yeah, first radio.
The Nickelodeon.
Nickelodeon. Westinghouse, the Westinghouse. I mean, we have so many firsts, but we need that message. And then we have cutting edge technology. You know.
We do. There's a lot being created here.
Okay, but sometimes it's local.
But it's in there.
We need to open up.
Yeah.
A market, you know, market. And then we had the newcomers coming, like different countries. They are medical doctors, nuclear engineers, and they are Uber drivers. Why are you an Uber driver? Because I don't, my English is not too well, or I have no contact. I don't know how to really apply for the school.
Well, there is a barrier. There is a barrier between even people I work with in the chamber. There's like a cultural and language barrier.
Right.
Sometimes it's harder to understand sometimes. My grandmother, she watched soap operas. She came here from Italy and she watched soap operas to learn English. So that's what she did.
There
she
you
learned
go.
Yeah, she was good. But she always swore in Italian.
I mean, many Pittsburgh guys who swear in Spanish.
That's good.
That's the only thing they know.
Yeah. Okay, it's very interesting, and I think there's so much going on in Pittsburgh. There's so much coming up, and we just have to keep our wheels moving and see where we end up.
Some people say, "Oh, Pittsburgh is boring, nothing to do," and the other guy said, "Every day of the week, I am busy attending an event or doing something." So the two ways of thinking. Nothing to do in Pittsburgh, a lot to do in Pittsburgh.
It depends on where you look. There's a lot to do.
It's a lot
if
to
you
do
get out of
in
your
Pittsburgh.
own comfort zone.
Yeah. Like I go to Beaver County to provide services there, and the same happens with the bridges, or this community, the bridge on the other side.
It's amazing.
It's a small group, it's a small town, but it's just that.
Well, I grew up in Aspinwall, and when I moved back, I lived in Florida, and when I moved back, I worked downtown, and I lived in Aspinwall, and it was if there wasn't like rush hour traffic, it was 12 minutes.
Right.
And if there was rush hour traffic, they didn't even have the lights, still had the lights on 28.
Oh, okay.
So it took forever. But I was in Pittsburgh all the time. Every day I worked down there. I went out to eat down there. I went everywhere. I was always all over Pittsburgh. Yeah. And then I moved to the South Hills, and I'm like, Pittsburgh, I gotta go through is there a baseball game? Is there a hockey game? That's a lot in the parking, and all of a sudden I get it, and it is that tunnel, and I wish there was something we could do, but there isn't. But you really get stuck in the bubble out here.
So the newcomers don't have that frame of mind.
No.
It's just they just go anywhere, business anywhere. Yeah. So. Yeah, it's a new way of thinking, how I just met a family from India, and I said, what are you guys doing this summer? Oh, we're going to Toronto and Montreal. I said, Toronto and Montreal? Yeah, it's not too far, it's 5 hours driving. Oh, that's true, but it sounds like...
forever away.
Yeah, Toronto, Montreal. Then I thought to my family, maybe we should take a trip to Toronto.
Well, we went in 5th grade. I think I was in 5th grade. We went to Toronto as a field trip.
Oh, it's a field trip.
Took a bus, went up there, went for I think a weekend, or maybe 4 days. Went to Toronto.
Yeah,
it's great. I'm still
New
mad.
York is farther than Toronto.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
You know?
And it's not. I mean, from what I remember, it's a very calm city and
Nice city.
pretty.
You know? Yeah. So different people have different mindsets, but that's the beauty of Pittsburgh. We have so many different countries, different places. We can tap into these minds, and your business changes suddenly. Like when these guys want to, let's say, do business internationally, but they don't know how to get in touch with a foreign distributor or rep. But it's enough you get a student, international student, into your company, and that kid has lots of contacts in XYZ countries. Suddenly, you are talking to X3 countries because mindset, they have these contacts.
Yeah.
We don't. So that's a value added, I think, for any company in the international business side. Or new ways to tackle problems. You know, we have these newcomers. How will you handle this problem? And they will give you answers like, you never thought it could be happening. So that's another opportunity for you to get new ideas for business.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I know I need to tap into her mind more.
Yeah, do
She's
that.
still new. It's 4 weeks.
Yeah, but she's getting a lot from you doing
I hope
what
so.
you're doing. Yeah.
We're in a growth trajectory right now, so there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, right.
Lots coming in all at once. So,
Right.
which isn't a bad thing, but it's now. Oh, we need protocol, and we need all of this.
Yeah.
All of a sudden you're in that. Oh, we have to streamline everything. Before you're going along, everything's great, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, look at everything coming in.
Well, that's a growth, right? Growth pain.
Yeah.
Growth pains.
Overnight growth success.
Yes, they rearrange things or priorities more, like structures.
Structure.
And procedures maybe. So people, big corporations are full structures. Small business don't, but you start getting them as you grow. It's just the nature. So it's not a big deal, really. It's just the nature. So we have different centers at Pitt for different stages too. So you can meet with more seasoned maybe consultants than just a regular startup consultants for different type of situation that the business is in. And nowadays we talk about robotics, AI, automation, self-driving vehicles. That is a up and coming. So we have a center that focuses on that only. So we don't do that, but a different center does that. Also the sustainability, the green, recyclable.
That's what you were bringing up, the hangers. I was like, oh, did he make it sustainable and took all the excess plastic? And made it sustainable.
That's another center that focuses on that, helping companies how to make money by being more environmentally friendly, So you can make money. That's the pitch there. There's the resources again, okay? Amazing resources. We just hired an environmental regulation person, so she focuses on air quality, because,
That's big.
So she will go
especially today with the Canadian wildfires.
Yeah, exactly. You see that? And the U.S. still, those.
Oh, in the Sahara Desert, I guess there's a windstorm.
Oh, those
we're going to get
windstorms.
something from that this way, and.
So companies, they need to be aware of that but again, it's making money by being friendly to the environment. So it's not just regulations and just hurting you. No, it's the opposite. Let's make money by being environmentally friendly.
True.
And smart too, smart new technologies. So we have those type of centers there. That can help companies. And we have resources, right? Not only Pitt, but we have different universities.
Outside of.
Have different unique programs. So it really, we have 35 colleges and universities in this region? 35, okay, a lot of universities and colleges. students, again, students.
They're amazing.
Big resource. So our message is business consulting, no charge, and we're not just one-stop shop. I mean, we can help. I'm sure other groups will do the same. We just want is a goal, right? A goal is companies to grow, like you said, grow companies, grow the region. That's exactly what we are talking about.
Good. So make sure, I mean, give them a try. You never know if you come down and meet with you guys, what you guys can do and help, and why not if it's a free consultation, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Free within the program.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for coming on today.
Hey, thank you.
And I'll share everything out so that everybody out there has all the resources and can reach out to the Pitt SBDC. And we look forward to doing more and working with you more to help our businesses in our area.
Yeah, hopefully I will see you at either these events coming up this spring or in September at the international event. That would be awesome.
It'd be very interesting. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mandy, for
Thank you very much for coming on.
Appreciate it.
And thanks everybody for watching this episode of the Southwestern PA Business Podcast. Thanks to Brent Rondon and the Pitt SBDC for joining me, and we'll have another episode here coming up soon. Thank you.